The historic Vandenberg Hotel stands on the northern side of Victoria Square and has a fascinating history, both of place and people. Its story is also intertwined with other interesting aspects of Forbes' past, and we will visit them as well.
So dig beneath the mall, boys, that's where you'll find gold, boys. I find it the same as you found it before. The rock of the
When Jewish merchant Levi Vandenberg came to Forbes in the early 1860s, our gold rush town was basically a tent city with a population approaching 30,000 people. They were mostly miners trying to make their fortune. This was an exciting time on the Lachlan goldfields with people coming from every nation. Levi purchased the then Courthouse Hotel in 1861, and at that time it was only a small wooden building. It was replaced by the current two-storey premises later in that decade. He retained the name Courthouse Hotel and transformed it into one of the leading hotels in central West New South Wales. A newspaper advertisement from 1875 had this to say:
Courthouse Hotel, Forbes, L. Vandenberg, proprietor. The above hotel is situated opposite the courthouse, and the proprietor, having spared no expense in furnishing and making additions to the same, hopes, by strict attention and civility, to ensure a fair patronage from his friends and the public generally. The comfort is unsurpassed by any of the leading hotels in the colony. Good stabling under an experienced and careful groom, baths and billiards.
Forbes was unique, having the first Jewish synagogue outside of Sydney. The construction was overseen by the many Jewish businessmen on the goldfields, and Levi was one of them. We cannot determine the location of this first synagogue, but suspect it was in Templar Street in the vicinity of the current Vandenberg Hotel. A later building in Lachlan Street was also utilised as a synagogue after the Jewish population declined as the gold petered out. The group also established a Jewish section in the local cemetery, and the Vandenberg family are interred there. Levi Vandenberg died in 1894, and his son Leon took over the establishment. It was still known as the Courthouse Hotel at this time. The hotel was renamed the Vandenberg in 1904 by the new purchaser, Mr F. A. Gilder, in recognition of the 42 years that the Vandenberg family had owned the establishment. Being a prominent hotel, many important events were held there, and many important people visited. Then New South Wales Governor Sir Robert Duff stayed in 1893 and wrote a warm report about the experience. I stayed at the Vandenberg Hotel on Monday, December 18, and was much pleased at the manner in which the hotel was conducted, and I was quite comfortable. Over generations, the wide verandas of the Vandenberg have been utilised in many ways. A newspaper report tells of a local who would dance on the magnificent front veranda, much to the consternation of the proprietor.
Forbes Advocate, 1954. Flashbacks of Forbes by Mr George Gunn. George Brown was a noted comedian of the town who used to make a dancing academy of the wide spacious veranda floor of the Vandenberg Hotel, much to the annoyance of the late Levi Vandenberg. Mr Vandenberg protested against the wearing out of his son's shoes and the boards.
The father of Federation, Sir Henry Parkes, enjoyed the van hospitality on several occasions and made a speech to the assembled Forbes multitude from the hotel veranda, which was well reported by the media of the day.
Daily Telegraph, Sydney, Friday 2nd of September 1887. This afternoon the Premier addressed a large meeting from the balcony of the Courthouse Hotel. Sir Henry Parkes was received with cheers and said that it was not his intention to say anything particular about Forbes, but what he wished to say was not simply to them, but to the people of this colony, and he desired, as briefly as he could. One remarkable thing he had discovered since his arrival in the district was that they had a jail and did not know what to do with it. If they ever had badly conducted people amongst them, the erection of the jail must have frightened them all away. He would advise them to take the inside walls out and convert it into a ballroom.
So, all in all, Sir Henry did not really have much to say to Forbes. Over the years, the Van, as it became known, had its ups and downs, surviving the years of 6 o'clock closing, or the 6 o'clock swill as it was better known, and SP bookies also operated from the back parlour of the hotel before the days of legalised gambling. A few even got caught. Historical brewery records also indicate that the hotel fell into disrepair and was nearly condemned at one stage. The occupants also strongly resisted a push to remove the beautiful verandas in the 1960s. Thank goodness it has survived in the magnificent building and its stories remain today. In recent years, the Vandenberg has undergone much maintenance and renovation, and again takes its position as one of the leading hotels in central west New South Wales. Renowned for its great meals and entertainment, it is still one of the social hubs of Forbes and is well worth a visit.